Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have some really important news for all current and future retirees in Germany. It's about your money, your future, and changes that will take effect starting July 1st, 2025. So stay tuned, because what I'm about to tell you could truly change your life. Before we dive in, do you forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any important updates. Today, we're talking about two massive changes to the German pension system that will affect millions of people. First, the statutory pension will be increased by 3.74%. Second, Germany is introducing the so-called active pension, which allows retirees to earn up to €2,000 tax-free. These aren't small adjustments. They are revolutionary steps that will improve the lives of many. Let's start with the pension increase. 3.74% might not sound like a lot, but when we translate that into real numbers, it becomes clear just how significant this raise is. Imagine you currently receive a pension of €1,500 a month. With this increase, you would get an additional €56.10 every month. That's over €670 more per year for someone with a €2,000 pension. That means an extra monthly payment of €74.80, adding up to almost €900 extra annually. But why is this increase so important? Well, we live in times of rising living costs. Inflation has hit many people hard in recent years, especially retirees who depend on a fixed income. The prices for food, energy, healthcare, and practically everything else have gone up. This pension increase is a direct response to these challenges. It aims to ensure that retirees can maintain their purchasing power and continue to live a dignified life. The German government considered several factors when calculating this increase, including general wage development, inflation, and the country's economic situation. It's important to understand that retirees shouldn't just be spectators of economic growth. On the contrary, they have paid into the system for decades and deserve to share in the positive economic development. This increase doesn't just affect a small group. We're talking about over 21 million retirees in Germany. That's almost a quarter of the entire population. When so many people have more money to spend, it has a positive ripple effect on the entire economy. Retirees spend this extra money on shopping, dining out, and maybe even traveling more. This stimulates local businesses and creates jobs. Now, let's move on to the second major topic, the active pension. This is a real game changer. The idea behind the active pension is simple but brilliant. Many retirees don't want to stop working completely. They still have energy, skills, and a desire to stay active. At the same time, many retirees need additional income to live more comfortably. Until now, earning extra money as a retiree was often complicated and not very attractive from a tax perspective. With the new active pension, that changes completely. Starting July 1st, 2025, retirees can earn up to €2,000 per month tax-free. Let that sink in for a moment. €2,000 tax-free. This means if you receive a pension of, say, €1,500 and earn an additional €2,000 through part-time work or other activities, you have a total income of €3,500 and the €2,000 remains completely tax-free. This opens up incredible possibilities. Retirees can work as consultants, passing on their expertise and experience to younger generations. They can work part-time in fields they enjoy without worrying about high taxes. They can start small businesses, work as freelancers, or even participate in the gig economy. But the benefits go far beyond the financial aspect. Work gives many people a sense of purpose and meaning. They stay socially connected, mentally active, and physically fit. Studies have shown that people who remain active in retirement are often healthier and happier. They suffer less from loneliness and depression, two major issues affecting many retirees. From an economic perspective, the active pension is also brilliant. Germany, like many other countries, faces the problem of an aging population. There are more and more retirees and fewer workers. By encouraging retirees to continue working part-time, this labor shortage can be partially offset. At the same time, companies benefit from the experience and knowledge of older employees. Let's talk about the practical aspects. How does the active pension work exactly? First, you must have reached the regular retirement age and be receiving your pension. Then you can take up any form of work, whether employed, self-employed, or freelance. The first €2,000 you earn each month are completely tax-free. This applies regardless of the amount of your pension. There are a few important details to note. The tax exemption only applies to income up to €2,000 per month. If you earn more, the excess amount will be taxed normally. You must also report your additional income, even if it's tax-free. This is for statistical and planning purposes. Another key point is that this regulation is not retroactive. It takes effect on July 1st, 2025, and income earned before this date does not fall under this rule. So, if you plan to benefit from the active pension, you should plan your work arrangements accordingly. Now, you might be wondering what all this means for different groups of retirees. Let's go through a few scenarios. Take Anna, a former teacher who receives a pension of €1,800. She loves teaching and now offers private tutoring. With the active pension, she can earn up to €2,000 a month extra without paying taxes. Her total income would be €3,800, and she could continue doing what she loves. Or let's consider Carl, a retired engineer with a pension of €2,300. He works as a consultant for small businesses and earns about €1,500 a month. This money is now completely tax-free, allowing him to save more or afford things that were previously out of reach. Then there's Maria, who receives a small pension of just €1,200. She always dreamed of opening a small cafe. With the active pension, she can make this dream a reality because the first €2,000 of profit are tax-free. This makes the difference between a possible dream and an impossible one. These examples show how diverse the possibilities are. The active pension isn't just for highly qualified or well-paid retirees. It's for anyone who wants to stay active and supplement their income. But there are also critical voices. Some argue that retirees are taking jobs away that should go to younger people. This is an understandable concern, but the reality is more complex. First, there's a massive labor shortage in Germany right now. Workers are desperately needed in many industries. Second, retirees often take on different types of work than younger people. They frequently work in advisory roles, part-time, or in areas that require specific experience. Other critics say the active pension puts an additional strain on the pension system. But the opposite is true. When retirees work and earn additional income, they continue to pay Social Security contributions on income above €2,000. They consume more, which increases VAT revenue, and they are often healthier and more active, which can reduce healthcare costs. It's also important to understand that these reforms didn't just appear out of nowhere. They are the result of years of discussions, studies, and planning. The government has spoken with trade unions, employer associations, pension experts, and retirees themselves. These reforms reflect a broad consensus on what is needed to make the pension system future-proof. Let's also talk about the long-term effects. These reforms aren't just one-off measures. They signal a shift in how we think about aging and retirement. In the past, retirement was seen as the end of working life, a time to just sit back and do nothing. Today, we understand that people in retirement still have much to offer. They are not passive recipients of benefits, but active members of society. This new perspective also has an impact on other areas. We're already seeing changes in urban planning, with more age-friendly housing and public spaces. In healthcare, there's more focus on prevention and active aging. In education, lifelong learning and continuing education for older adults are becoming increasingly important. The active pension fits perfectly into this trend. It encourages retirees to stay active, continue learning, and keep developing. It recognizes that age is just a number and that experience is valuable. Now, I want to talk about the practical steps you can take to benefit from these changes. If you're already a retiree or will be soon, you should start planning. Think about what skills you have and how you could monetize them. Maybe you have a hobby you could turn into a small business. Perhaps there are opportunities for consulting or part-time work in your former profession. Get informed about the exact regulations. Although the basic principles are clear, there are details and exceptions you should be aware of. Visit the German pension insurance website, talk to a tax advisor, or attend information sessions in your community. If you're not yet retired, it's never too early to start planning. Think about how you can use your skills and experience in retirement. Build networks that could be valuable even after you stop working full-time. Consider if there are any training or qualifications that could help you in retirement. For companies, these reforms also open up new opportunities. They could develop flexible work models for retirees who want to share their experience. They could set up mentoring programs where experienced retirees guide younger employees. They could create specialized consulting positions that are perfect for retirees who don't want to work full-time. Let's also talk about the social dimension. These reforms have the potential to positively change society. When retirees are more active and financially secure, they can contribute more to the community. They can devote more time and money to volunteer work. They can invest in their families, help their grandchildren, or support local initiatives. The increased purchasing power of retirees also benefits small and medium-sized businesses, local shops, restaurants, cultural institutions, and leisure facilities all benefit when retirees have more money to spend. This creates a positive cycle that benefits the entire economy. It's also important to talk about the psychological effects. Financial security is closely linked to mental health. When retirees have to worry less about money, it reduces stress and anxiety. They can sleep better, have fewer health problems, and enjoy life more. The ability to earn extra income also gives them a sense of control and autonomy over their lives. The active pension can also help combat the stigma sometimes associated with older workers. By society acknowledging and encouraging retirees to continue working, the appreciation for older people and their contributions is strengthened. This can lead to a more inclusive society where age is seen as an advantage, not a disadvantage. Of course, there are also challenges. Not all retirees are able to work extra. Health problems, family obligations, or simply the desire to rest are perfectly legitimate reasons not to work. The active pension is an option, not an obligation. It's important that no one feels pressured to work. It's also crucial to ensure that older workers are not exploited. There must be fair wages and decent working conditions. The fact that the first €2,000 are tax-free should not be an excuse for employers to pay subpar wages. The government must also ensure that the system remains fair. There must be no loopholes that can be abused. The administration needs to be efficient so that retirees are not burdened with unnecessary bureaucracy. In conclusion, I want to say that these reforms are a significant step in the right direction. They show that the government is taking the needs and wishes of retirees seriously. They show that Germany is willing to find innovative solutions to the challenges of an aging society. The 3.74% pension increase gives millions of people more financial security. The active pension gives them the freedom and flexibility to shape their lives as they wish. Together, these reforms have the potential to improve the lives of many people and make society as a whole stronger. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with friends and family, especially those who are nearing retirement or are already retired. This information is important, and the more people who know about it, the better. Write in the comments what you think about these reforms. Are you optimistic? Do you have concerns? Are you planning to take advantage of the active pension? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future updates. We will continue to follow these topics and keep you informed as more details become available. Until next time, stay informed and stay active.